Should we go?
Two decorators and a microphone. The UK's first painting and decorating podcast with Trev and Ryan.
You all right then, Ryan?
Yeah, getting there.
Yeah.
Surely.
What a lovely day. We've got the doors open today.
Yeah, so if you get some background foley of birds tweeting and stuff.
Yeah, some people being stabbed and robbed at knife point. Yes.
Yeah, it is autumn after all. Or old people just moaning about anything and everything. Actually, no, that's going to be the other side of this podcast. So you will hear some old person moaning about some shite.
Why are you like this?
I think we should start off on a little bit of a gentle attack.
Yeah, 'cause it's a lovely day.
I got a report from last week's one. Dom, who's out in Australia.
Oh, yeah, your friend.
Apparently, he had a little bit of a night with some experimental substances.
Oh, here
He
we
was
go.
feeling a bit rough the next day.
Yeah.
And tried to listen to our podcast to sort of settle him down after.
That's the worst thing you could possibly want to do, isn't it? Surely.
After it all, like, calmed down a bit, he was feeling a little bit fragile.
Yeah.
He said he tried to listen to us.
Why would
but
he
it didn't
do
work
that?
out that
That's
well.
probably the worst thing you want to listen to.
Yeah, probably not the probably
You
not
can tell
the
he
best
when
place
you
to
can
go
say-
for
you
your
can-
relaxing.
You can tell he's one of your mates, can't you? He ain't the brightest, is he? Why do you want to do that? It'd make you even worse, I would have thought.
So
yeah.
a little bit of a slow attack today,
Okay,
and also because we've got Jackal to talk about. Really,
Why?
I've got nothing. I tried. I can't get my head in the game today.
What's the matter?
I'm just feeling a little bit.
One of those.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
You couldn't wake up in a nicer place, really.
No, it was really like
Just go outside, have a little. What you should have done was gone outside, took your shoes and socks off, and had a little dabble in the pond, like a duck.
So
That'd have been nice.
I woke up this morning and I called you to let you know that I was coming down here.
Yeah.
I had a cup of coffee and a rollie out the front.
Lovely.
And just there's end of my garden, a little bit of like a public path for the lake, then the bank, and then there's I think they call it like a stand for the fishing. And
What is they called? Is it called?
I think it's a stand.
No, it's called not a pitch.
Pitch is a good one as well. There's something like that. Whatever it is.
I tell you what, we're very sporty, aren't we? Last time we started off on the F1. This time we're on course
there's
fishing.
F1 drama as well. Renault are in
God.
talks with Bottas now. Joe reckons
here we
that's
go.
a load of shit, but come on, so Renault, who
Here we go. Why did I mention
They
it?
signed Danny Rick with like whatever it was. I think at the time it was the most lucrative contract on the grid, and Renault are a midfield team. They're not one of the top three. This is almost like Bill Burr's podcast when he talks. He spent 50 minutes talking about baseball and classic NFL games the other day. And it's just like, why am I listening to
Exactly.
this?
Why? Yeah, people
Anyway.
don't tune into a decorating podcast. They listen about F1. But anyway,
Yeah, so they offered him like quite a big contract, obviously, and then Bottas is there. He's a number 2 driver at Mercedes, isn't he?
Yeah.
If your teammate's Lewis Hamilton, you're not going to take
Exactly.
the preferential treatment, are you?
no.
So maybe if it'd be quite interesting if Bottas goes to Renault, there's an open seat at Mercedes. It'd probably be filled with someone like Esteban Ocon because they've got their own young driver program.
Right.
And Ocon was supposed to take the Renault seat, but Daniel Ricciardo got it. So Toto Wolff is a little bit miffed about that. But it would be quite cool to see Vettel and Hamilton racing on the same team in the same car. That would be quite cool.
Cool, yeah.
I think Vettel isn't...
So he's an ex-world champion too, isn't he?
4-time world champion.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he won 4 years on the trot, but that was in a different era. Like this now, the V6 turbos, and like with Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen is on the grid. He's probably one of the most consistent drivers, but the car and how it drives doesn't really suit him anymore. If you look back when he was winning and he was performing really well, he flings the car around the track like he's throwing it sideways round corners. But the cars don't really have that in them anymore. You can get a little bit of oversteer going, but you can't really throw
Not like
it
the good
back.
old days.
Well, no, it's just a different way of driving. There was quite an interesting podcast I listened to with Martin Brundle. It's called Beyond the Grid. And they went through, because it turns out that Martin Brundle's driven something like 54 F1 cars from all the way back, because after his time at, I think it was Brabham, he then went and done loads of stuff for Sky and magazines, and he's he's driven Senna's McLaren, he's driven Prost, he's been in every car.
Yeah.
Even the Williams 6-wheeler. He drove that around.
Cool.
He said he's never been in an F1 car with more grip than having 2 extra tyres on the thing. And he's saying that, you're in these really classic, lovely cars, and they don't want you to send them into a wall.
No, exactly.
It's not as if they got replacement parts for it anymore.
Yeah.
He was saying one of the cars, they only had one wheel. It was they had different tyres, but they only had one set of wheels. So, and it took like 2 or 3 hours to change the rubber off of the wheels.
Jeez.
But it was a changeable day. So, like, do we go out in slicks or do we go out in wets?
No,
like,
we call it off and come back another day. That's what I'll be saying.
Yeah. But he was saying that, the cars drive so differently. Like, they all take the same amount of skill, but it's what that skill is.
Yeah.
So now it's more about, like, massaging the tyres and doing all of that, whereas back in the day it was, no power steering and manual shifting. It's more about, he said they're more like dancing in the cockpit. They're, between...
Like a ballerina sort of thing.
Yeah, they're dancing in the cockpit, whereas now it's more about, like, managing the tyres and your pace and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Vettel's time I think is a little. He's not really particularly done all that well. I know Ferrari's a bit of a shit show.
Yeah,
like their management and their strategy. I think that's where like Mercedes comes in strong. Obviously, they've got a really good development and stuff, but you don't just get that development out of nowhere. They've got a really good like mentality all through the garage of always trying to get the most out of everything. Like they're always, even if they've won 8 races in a row, they don't ever think they're going to win the next one. They're always pushing.
Well, that's how they become the best.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And that's how they don't then stagnate on the top. Like, Ferrari kind of dominated the 2000s.
Yeah.
Maybe a Renault season here or there.
Williams were quite big. When were they? They were 90s? They were quite...
Yeah, Williams were big in the 90s, yeah.
So, yes.
And now they've sort of gone down a little bit, and that's because there's a woman in charge.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
So there's what, 10 teams on the grid.
Yeah.
9 of them are run by men. 1 of them's run by a woman, and they're 19th and 20th.
The woman can't even beat a Raspberry Ripple when he was in charge in a wheelchair.
Oh, Frank Williams is a very smart man.
So anyway, yes, tune in the same time next week for more F1 and tyre talk.
It's not even fucking on at the moment. That's the thing. Like no one's even racing. It was. I didn't realize.
When are they going to start racing
again? It was
again?
90 minutes before the start of free practice 1 in Australia when they cancelled it. 90 minutes. We were that close.
So when is it going to?
I think the first properly, fully confirmed, definitely going ahead one is Spa in. At the end of August.
Oh my god!
But
so not even.
I don't. But
like,
there's others in the pipeline. So I got a list here. I'm not sure how.
Oh god! What did I ask that? Why did I ask that?
I'm not sure how up to date this list is because
okay,
I
listeners.
saved it a while ago. The Austrian Grand Prix on the 5th of July, the British GP on the 19th, Hungarian on the 2nd, Belgian on the 30th of August, Italian GP on the 6th of September. So, like, there's races every week. There's a couple of 2-3 week breaks in there, but it's a lot of the time it's on the FIA are happy with it, teams are happy with it, but it's on the government to say, yeah, you can go ahead with doing a closed event.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to watch the F1. Just want to watch the F1. That's the thing. Daniel Ricciardo didn't even get a second season in a Renault. Like, there's been lineup changes and so much drama going on, and they're not even racing. They've not even managed to start the 2020 season yet. And the thing we were laughing about is that Lewis Hamilton wins this, so he wins this championship, ties up with Schumacher.
Yeah.
But that's what everyone's going to say is, well, no, it's not. It's not a full season. It's not a proper season.
Ooh, yeah.
That sort of thing. So he's going to have to win
another
minimum 9 championships to beat Michael Schumacher's and to silence everyone saying, "Oh yeah, well the 2020 season wasn't a proper season." Not like considering the fact that back in the 60s and 50s and stuff, where everyone goes on about like Fangio and Sterling Moss, and they had like 6 races in a season, sort of thing.
Yeah, but yeah.
Anyway,
right.
What's this about?
Yeah,
this is about decorating.
Meant to
or
be
something.
about decorating, apparently.
Well, I told you I've got nothing to talk about, so I'm going to talk about the F1.
Oh dear. Well,
you can go on about horse racing for a bit if you want.
the same thing, isn't it? There's nothing on. Nothing on. That does
You
make
go down into a field, you get mum up one end with a carrot.
Yeah.
Go on, boys, go on.
that does make me laugh though. People know you've got a slight interest in horse racing, and then every year, guaranteed, you'll get messages about the Grand National, the biggest race and the hardest race in the world to pick a winner.
Yeah. It's not like there's a race of like 6 horses.
No,
At
exactly,
least 50. How many would you go?
I've heard you know a bit about horses, don't you? Well, yeah. What do you think's going to win the Grand National? I don't fucking know. Don't ask me. Can you pick a harder race? Can you,
That's the thing. Like, it's not even.
Yeah.
It's the same in F1. Like you know, you can just get knocked out by pure chance, another driver or anything. Like there's that. Have you seen that video of Webber? But I think it was back in like 2010. He's going down the straight, full throttle, everything. He's on the rev limit, at highest gear, hits the braking point, puts his foot on the brakes, and the front wheels just pop straight off, and he goes straight into the wall. You can see him there trying to steer the wheel, but he's got no front wheels on.
I'll tell you what this is. This is a perfect example of when we spoke in the other podcast about meeting a customer and finding rapport. Because you were you weren't in the groove.
No, I wasn't.
And now look, 5 minutes talking
because
about
something I'm actually interested in and want to talk about.
Yeah, see,
I'm perked up a bit.
It's made a big difference. Oh,
I thought you turned your phone off.
Yeah, but it's Kane Adam. They're on the phone telling me
go on.
probably telling me I've got some wood stain to pick up. Hang on a minute.
You turn your mic down.
Yeah, you talk. I'll just.
So, we normally give a little bit of an update at the beginning of the week as well of what we've been up to. I finished off communal horse there and landing. Is he on the desk?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. No, you're on the wrong one. That's all right. It's Bluetooth.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Who's that, Rich?
Hello, Richard. You're live on air. Please do not say fuck or bollocks.
Hi, Rich. We're recording the podcast, so nice of you to join us.
Yeah, this is our local Decorators merchant manager.
This is Richard. Richard, I need a haircut.
And motorbike enthusiast.
Yes.
I was just trying to get hold of two. I was trying to get hold of 2 professional decorators, but clearly I've got the wrong number.
Yeah, do you want? We can point you in the right direction. There's a bloke called Wayne Fox about. He's quite good.
He's good. Do you want anything about F1? Because we're just talking about that. We could. No, nothing.
2 wheels, I'm all right. 4 wheels, I'm in trouble.
Oh, Rich.
No, I've let you down. The reason I'm calling into your podcast is just to let you know that your saddle in Ebony has arrived.
Oh, brilliant.
And you might have to do some actual work.
Fantastic. Cheers, Rich. Are you open tomorrow or not?
We're not. We've got 3 days of leisure of sunning ourselves in our back garden.
Oh, beautiful.
Drinking beer.
Can you book me in a time? Can you book me in for a time on Tuesday?
I can book you in for a time on Tuesday. What time would you like?
Probably about 8 o'clock. That's okay.
Okay, and is that for your back so you can crack?
Yes.
Or is it just bigger pain?
Happy ending with that, or
happy ending.
It's amazing. During this COVID lockdown, we have to diversify wherever possible. So.
three revenue streams is what they say.
If that does go on your podcast, I'm going to be inundated with phone calls from hairy builders, aren't I?
Lucky you.
You're the special decorators merchant.
We use specialist duct tape to get rid of the really hairy.
All right then, Rich. Have a good weekend. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye, mate.
You have no idea what you're doing with all this technology, do you?
There's too many lights going on. It's just too shiny. And that was Richard from our local friendly Kane Adam.
Good friends with Steve from Paint Shack in Windlesham.
You may know.
I had that the other day. Me and Joe went to the Paint Shack, and there was a matey there, and he goes, "Oh, you here to pick up your sponsorship money?"
Did he really?
Yeah. I don't know. I had a big point there. Oh,
Horse Stairs and Land. You're on about?
No. I'm on 299 followers on Instagram,
Well
so
done.
give me a follow at S&D_decorating. Did you see my post on our Facebook page the other day?
No. What was that?
On the 2 decks 1 mic actual page,
Yeah.
I just put, you're over here. I just put up follow at S&D_decorating as a post. I was going to boost it as well because we got like a free £5 credit.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, I was going to use it on that.
Have we really?
Yeah.
Yeah, really take the mick.
Yeah.
I was trying to find some. That was Richard from Kane Adam. I was trying to find some saddlings the other day. That is really hard to get hold of.
So you went for saddling instead of Cuprinol for this 200-year-old box?
It's not 200 years old. It's 100 years old. And I'm sure that all they probably put on there was engine oil, Ryan. I don't know why you're getting so excited about it.
There's a bit of history there that you're going to go charging in at.
No, because...
I've seen what you do to 3-year-old woodwork. I dread to think what you do to 100-year-old woodwork.
What do you mean 3-year-old woodwork?
Well...
What?
I don't want to embarrass you on the podcast, Father. I'll embarrass you on Instagram when I put the pictures up.
Of what? When they put their engine oil on it 100 years ago... So now, when I put the saddlings on it, it's going to be the same effect in 100 years, isn't it? So saddlings are going to be better than bloody engine oil. What else do they use?
You're going to give it a rub down at all, or are you just going to go straight on?
Huh? Of course I'm going to rub it down. What do you think I am?
You! That's who I think you are. I think you're Trevor Mangan.
You're. I don't know where you're getting this idea from. I'm not the one that flipping amphibolines everything in a bloody house.
Yeah.
So
that's because that's what the customer asked for.
Oh, I see.
It's a nice, durable hardware and finish. And it's not a 100-year-old, very precious cabinet.
It's not very precious.
It's some dodgy rental flat in Woking that'll probably can turn it into a grow house.
Ryan, stop talking like that. We got asked the other day to put was it?
I have no idea
about the
yeah. Oh yeah. Now I know. Now I'm with you.
The post from Fine Finish Decorating.
Oh yeah. To be honest, it could have been the funniest thing in the world, but I can't.
Where is it? Is it on our Facebook page?
It's on the 2Decks1 Mic group, which you can find easy enough.
So yeah, Ryan got asked if they could post the Brothers of the Brush podcast.
And we got no actual beef with Brothers of the
we
Brush.
we like to make out. Yeah, we like to make out we've got a bit of beef.
Just because they're Northerners, and we just don't like Northerners, really.
Yes. No, we do like Northerners.
Just when they stay up there.
Yeah, they're fine.
Don't come past the Thames and you're all right. The best place... stay up the fucking north.
The best place for a Northerner
is Carlisle.
It's up the north. It's Scotland. No, we're only joking.
I'm not.
No, let's get this right. We've got no beef with Brothers of the Brush. And we've got no beef with Northerners.
Yeah, it's just a bit of gentle piss taking.
Piss taking, yeah. But so they put this post on, and I can't make. I haven't got a clue. I really am, honestly.
I even asked my missus. I was like, "Can you understand this?" She was like, "No."
Perhaps we should make it a competition. Yeah. Well, whoever can go on there and decipher what they're saying.
Yeah, we can get a transcription of it.
Yeah, we could send you a prize.
There was another thing I was going to talk about. There was a bloke I was supposed to mention on the podcast that I forgot to do last week. He put something really useful up for us.
Oh, that's good then. So we're completely ignoring what people are sending us.
No, it wasn't ignored because I remembered. I said I'll try and remember.
Okay.
I think what it was some he's taken the government guidelines for coronavirus sort of. Whatever it is, how you should be in people's homes, that sort of thing, and sort of just written it out in a bit of paper that you can give to his customers.
Oh, I saw that. It was on our Facebook page.
Yeah, like I said, on our Facebook page.
Oh, so I thought you got a message about it. Sorry.
No. So he's put that up there, so check out Own a Decorating Business on Facebook. I'm just trying to find his name. LSB Decorating Services.
I'll have a look. I've got it open at the moment.
Nope, LSB Decorative Painting is what he's called. Thank you for putting that up there. Yeah, so it's just a bit of we'll sanitise door handles as we leave, that sort of shite. But, a bit of calming for maybe a jittery customer or there.
Yeah, it's LSB, yeah. It looks quite neat as well, the way he's typed it out.
Exactly. I think all he's done is just taken the government guidelines and copied them and sort of changed them to be a bit more specific for decorators.
Maybe because you can add files to this, can't you?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
No, but if you can add files to the Facebook group, we could actually put it in there as a file, so you can actually download it. And
we probably could. Well, if we do that, go on our Facebook page and you can find it there. If not, scroll down and you'll see, or just you can search. Why don't you pull the slider down?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hey! Ryan, don't. I'm a decorator. I'm not a studio engineer.
You're trying very hard to be one now.
Obviously not trying hard enough.
There, a keyboard there. You got 3 monitors all laid up.
Oh, it's
Oh yeah, I did put an AMD in your computer as well.
Did you?
Yeah, Risen. Quite a nice little.
Oh, good.
Nice little chip.
What else was I going to say? What's happened to me this week? Oh, tell you what I've bought.
The thing that I've had all week is I've got to start this outside. And that started on Monday. Was I've got to start this outside.
Yeah.
Come Thursday afternoon, it was I'm at home. I'm not going to go to work tomorrow. I'm not going to start that outside. They can do it next week. It needs to get done by Monday. Come Friday, you're sat in the shed all day.
Okay, I've done the usual thing that I normally do,
which is fuck all.
Which is not plan fucking thing. No, I started the job. I was doing that vaulted ceiling that you were going to help me spray, remember? That you backed out of.
Back out of it? You're just too slow. So I've gone through like 3 jobs by the time you're ready to spray that ceiling. So, anyway, I'll tell you what a good investment was. I bought that. Ryan persuaded me. One of the better things he persuaded me to buy last year when Homebase was closing down. No, I think it was on Southern Decorators, wasn't it? Yeah.
Who put a post up there? Carl Hancock?
Someone like that.
Homebase were getting rid of these little tower scaffolds for stupid money.
It was good, like £300 off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's those ones where you buy the packs in parts. Yeah, so you buy pack 1 and it's up to 1.8, and then pack 2 lets you go up to 3.6, and the other one I think brings you up to 5 metres. And the working height, and the base of it just sort of like Constantine's folds up. It's really nice. Goes in the back of my van a treat. So Ryan persuaded me to go and buy one last year, and it's really earned its money. Yeah, definitely. Even on that job we had for Joe, it earned its money really. Yeah, because we useful on that. We had a job on day work that on this outside. Spent 4 hours putting together the tower in the morning, 4 hours taking it apart in the afternoon, and then we'd go home. Half hour for lunch. But so I bought this tower scaffolding for there, took it up there, and then hired it back to Joe on day work, which is perfect. Paid for itself. So on that job, more or less, it paid for itself anyway. But then used it on these vaulted ceilings. This last week, perfect. Folds down and we made the job so much easier. And another little tip: have we mentioned this, or have I mentioned it to you? When you're measuring ceilings or planning to paint a ceiling, is to actually get a tape measure out and measure it, because I think most people would take the tape measure out and measure the ceiling when they quote the job. I'm on about a vaulted ceiling, not a normal ceiling. Because when we did that one, why does a vaulted ceiling make it any different? Because remember when we did that one in January for Graham? Yeah, in his kitchen. He had the beams going across it, and we sort of looked up and thought, well, that's quite high. So we got a tape measure out, didn't we? Oh, you mean measure the height of the ceiling? That's what I meant, sorry. I didn't make that clear. No, you didn't. No, sorry. But no, if you measure the height, because we were doing this one in January, and it looked quite high, so we went and got a tape measure for the van, and measured it from the apex to the bottom of the beam. And where I'll be standing. It was 2 metres. Yeah. But one from the floor. It looked like a lot more. Yeah, so it's quite a good little tip that we've learnt, is to actually take a tape measure out and measure the height of a unusual or different ceiling, vaulted or. Yeah. Why is it? Anybody? If I was explaining it to anybody else, it'd be fine. But because I'm explaining it in front of you, and you're sat there taking the piss. I feel like I need to punch you. I'm only taking the piss because you sometimes search a little bit for words that you're saying, but you are basically just looking for what you've said earlier in the sentence. Yeah, because you forget that I've had a stroke and you find that hilarious. Yeah, I do. And I do find it hilarious. I think that's... Because you're a fucking idiot. You bought it on yourself. Because you're a fucking idiot. Well, that's true. But... it's like if I turn around and go, oh, yeah, bloody infection or something in my lungs. Oh, yeah, you're a smoker. You deserve it. Yeah, but it's not as if you didn't get told that you had high blood pressure and probably a little bit overweight long before you had that stroke. Yeah, but I was too young to take the tablets they gave me. As simple as that.
And I proved that
Too
point.
young at what, 50?
No, I wasn't 50 at the time, was I?
Yeah, I think you were.
Well, oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Jesus
You're
Christ.
getting old, Mish.
Anyway, so I was still too young. Yeah, and I learned the hard way. But I do think, seriously, that has affected me more than I actually realised.
Yeah, I know, me and Mum have been telling you that for years. No, I'm all right.
I know you're not all right, but you do actually...
And you've somehow turned into even more of a doddery old poo.
Your sympathy, Ryan, is over-fucking-whelming. It really is. But no, guys, seriously, just look after yourselves because it's not something to fuck about with, is it? Your mental health, your physical and mental health, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all worth looking after.
It was Mental Health Awareness Week this week.
Was it? I wasn't very aware of that.
No, we should
Need
have.
to do a better job.
Yeah.
I had no idea. They need a Mental Health Awareness Week. So you're aware that the week's coming up.
They need to be aware the week before the Awareness Week. Yeah. Can you make us aware the week before the Awareness Week that it's Awareness Week next week? Oh dear, people listen to this shit, don't they?
Yeah. Do you reckon they can tell that we've actually got nothing, that my bit of paper is completely blank?
I think we're doing quite well, to be honest. We've got nothing on the board.
So we've been doing this communal hallway. And you know, always the biggest issue is bloody front doors.
Yeah.
Which is always a bit of a pain.
Paint them shut.
Yeah. But there was one place I managed to catch all of them for the undercoat, and I managed to catch all but one of them for the 2 top coats.
Yeah.
And this one mate, I'd seen him go in and out of his flat, and obviously you'd opened up the door for the undercoat.
You spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I mean. This saga carried on this week as well.
Did it?
So knocking on his door, and I knocked on his door Monday to Thursday this week. We finished on Thursday.
Yeah.
No answer. And I do 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then on Thursday, because it was our last day on the job, I gave proper like bailiff style knock, like thumping the thing.
Did you not put a note through the door?
No.
Why not?
They're all foreign. I don't speak English.
We'll just do a picture of a door and a paintbrush. A picture of a door shut and a picture of a door open and a paintbrush next to it. That's what you need to do.
This is why you get nothing done on jobs. You're sat there drawing cartoons for people.
But I would have got the door painted.
Anyway, I got the door painted, but it turns out I got a text on Thursday afternoon from Joe going, "Oh, the reason we couldn't get number 2 open is because they'd moved out on the weekends." So they were there for us to undercoat it, and then they'd moved out by the time we got to top coat it.
Top coat it.
Yeah, top
coat it shut.
Well, yeah, because you could push it back in the frame a little bit, and I could get my bristles up behind it, so it looks all right, and just have to go back and.
So they moved out.
Yeah, they moved out.
So
I've been knocking on the door all week, and there's no one in there. Going, I know they're in there. I've seen them in there.
Do you not have the letterbox go? Ooh. Hello.
Cooey.
Hello.
No, I was doing that on the Fitbird number 7, but
oh dear.
I'd catch her as early as I could in the morning. I'd see her getting dressed through the crack in the door.
Oh God, Ryan.
Raised by you, mate. You're the one that taught me about sniffing the undies. You don't go for the ones in the drawer. You go for the ones in the wash basket because they're the ones with a bit of stank on them.
What's wrong with you?
You told me that. You're the one that told me that.
I'm not even going to try and defend myself.
I remember my first month there, I was going through the clean drawers because you told me to, and you were like, no, you don't be going through the clean ones. You want to be going through the dirties. Hopefully get a couple of skidders on there or something.
That was training. Oh God,
I've not been dressed up in the customers' undies, running around in their garden like a scarecrow.
I didn't put their underwear on.
I specifically remember you saying something about a bra.
Ryan, stop it. I did not say a bra. I did not say knickers. I wasn't that. It was a dress.
It was a lovely flowy summer dress.
It was a lovely flowy summer dress.
I could feel the breeze on my nuts.
Anyway, that was a while ago. We won't be talking about that anymore. Right.
Do you reckon you can have too much of a heart in business?
Oh, this is from, we had this sent in to us by Marie from Dragonfly Decorators, who, if anybody knows, was the centre of Spraygate.
You're actually calling it that?
Yeah.
You fucking toss bro.
Well, it just
there's a small amount of drama. We're calling it Gate, much like the president of the United States being impeached for spying on another political party, much like Watergate, Spraygate. Very similar. Almost parallel. You can almost picture her as Richard Nixon.
Don't mention.
And you as Robert McNamara. This is it's like a reshoot of Watergate.
No, I've got to edit that out of the podcast again. It took me ages the first time. Well, we've had a first official off-air meeting, and we agreed that both Ryan and myself got a little bit carried away. So the content that we did record, we've had to sort of edit out. We may release it at a future date, but it's a little bit too sensitive to talk about now. So we've actually censored ourselves, something we said we'd never do, and taken this little bit of the show out. So yeah. Anyway, back to the show. Yeah, we'll just put a post on the Facebook group. This is
the list of people that we take the piss out of.
We take the piss out of them, but we're
not hugely bothered with.
Right. Do you think... Oh, God.
I think sometimes the ones where we've got nothing to do are actually...
I think next week we need to concentrate on getting some content.
The only problem is that I find that I laugh a lot more, because so I get quite a good gauge, because I know that Joel will listen to these at work, and it will be normally the first thing he'll listen to in the morning.
What, with you working by
he'll have his headphones in.
I know, that's a bit of a strange one, isn't it?
What?
Well, you're working with the bloke that's listening to you where you're working next to him.
But I tend to find that I have a lot more laughs on this than he does. So, occasionally I'll be working away, I'll hear him chuckle to himself or something. Like, oh, he's probably hit that point, so that's quite funny or something. But I laugh a lot more than he does, so I think me and you are funnier than other people think me and you are.
Well, yeah. Definitely Jen Garner. She won't think we're very funny.
No.
But then she probably won't know.
She probably won't. I don't think she listens, to be honest.
No,
mate.
Probably best you don't.
Really sure.
Probably best you don't.
Oh, I'm wearing a Greycoat hat. I've got to take that off.
Oh, God,
You're not allowed to be wearing Greycoat hats, are you?
No,
Shit.
that's another...
That's off.
We found that out from Spraygate. That was it. Yeah, apparently. I better take my Wagner pants off too. Just in case. Do you think you've got a bot?
I don't know. I don't even remember it now.
Marie sent this in from Dragonfly Decorators. We're trying to get to the point.
Has she got a spray machine yet?
No, it's on its way. It's on its way.
Have you got the keys for the van?
Why?
Because I reckon it's still in the back of the van.
Marie sent this in. What is the question? Do you think you've got a...
Can you have too much of a heart when you run your own business?
Because she's been accused of being too generous, too thoughtful.
You're too nice.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I don't like people like you. You're far too
that's
kind.
Yeah, that's my only downfall. I'm just too
much of a
fucking
nice guy.
Too fucking nice. That's the only...
It's the problem with me. Everyone thinks I'm far too humble.
Yeah. It's one of those interview questions, Yeah. What's one of your downfalls? Yeah, I'm just too nice. I'm just far too nice. No,
I tend to find that I'm on time far too often.
Yes,
I need to be late more.
Yeah, but no, right. Back to the question then. Let's try and get this problem solved. Yes, I think people can, in life generally, not in business but as in business as well. Sorry, that people can mistake kindness for weakness. So
most definitely,
you just need to put a line and say, I don't mind helping you, but please don't take the piss.
Yeah, there is a point in there, like, because you don't mind doing something for someone that'll appreciate it. But
exactly,
there's some
I think
people
that's
out
the key.
there that will definitely see it more as an opening to take advantage.
Yeah.
And you can't let those people stop you being a nice person, because I genuinely think it's harder being like cheerful and sort of generous and nice and helping out where you can. It's a lot harder because you make yourself a lot more open to having the piss taken out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more open just to people taking advantage.
this not. I don't know. This is sort of like last week. I had to go back and I didn't have to, but I went back and did that front door for that job you did in Hollyborn.
Yeah.
Did the front door. Also did that bit of skirting in the wardrobe that had been fitted that wasn't there when you done it, and painted a rad in the kitchen that wasn't paid, that we didn't quote for, and the rad in the airing cupboard that we didn't pay, that I didn't quote for. So I went back and did those bits. Now there was money on the job still, so what do? Do I do them for nothing? Which is what I did do. I thought, oh well, there's money in the job, I'll just do it. But I didn't even make him aware and say, well, look, you do realise this one on the quote.
What was it you done?
The new front door.
Oh, just a couple of little bits that were not on the quote.
That was both sides, yeah.
Yeah.
But do you say, look...
Yeah, I mean...
I should have really said...
To be fair, you probably had money on the job. There'd probably still be money on the job, even if you, after doing all that bit for free.
Oh, yeah.
You got what?
Yeah, I know there's...
1,700 quid out of me?
I'm not on about... I'm just saying...
I'm not on about how much money I ripped off of you, but...
But I'm just saying would you then look at that as... I should have asked for some more money, or I should have let him, at least made him aware that it wasn't...
Yeah, maybe I think that is the way. Maybe just go...
That was the thing. I
didn't quote for it, but I can just do it for you quick.
Yeah, you've been a decent customer. And he was. You paid on time.
And they don't know that you're there just because you've still got money on there that you can use up. To them, it looks like you're being
well.
Out of the kindness
I mean,
of
it was,
heart.
and they were, weren't they? Good as gold.
Yeah,
let you stay there.
Yeah.
It was, and money was always paid. It was never a problem with money.
Never had a.
And I would think even for customers like that, even if you are getting close to running out of money, that getting paid on time without a problem, counts for a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you probably knock 50 quid off of every job that if they paid it on time.
Well, exactly.
You know what I mean? If you pay the invoice within 3 days, I can reduce the price by 20 quid or something.
Yeah,
maybe that's a bit of incentive to get people to pay a bit quicker.
Yeah, people have done that. I don't know. I've heard of people doing it in the past, and it is worth doing it because it just takes the stress out of the whole situation, doesn't it? But yes, let us know what you think.
So you can get the mick taken out of you quite easily, but I don't think it's at any point. It does knock you down because you're like, I'm just trying to be a nice bloke and I've been stitched up.
Yeah,
but you can't keep letting that, because occasionally you'll help someone out and it'll work out that they can do something quite big in return for you.
I think sometimes it's you just got it's a judgment call, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Judge the customer. And you pretty much know, you get to know quite easily what sort of person they're like.
Yeah, like you say, you end up just knowing it. You do tend to get a good bit of a read off for people after doing this for a while, because you sort of you've seen it all. You've seen them before. You know the sort of type, and you go in there and you see a certain decoration or how they've done things or how nice their kitchen looks. I know it's not all of it, but
even by the way they just talk to you or what they say or the way they say it, you think, oh, all right, been down this road before.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but like I say 9 times out of 10 are good. And when you got nice customers like we got Jess, perfect customers, because you just roll up there and you're part of the family. You get on and get left alone.
Jump straight in and just get on with it.
So yeah,
and that was our one actual question this week.
What's that?
That one.
You made an interesting point this morning when we were talking, because we were talking about value and what customers value you as.
Yep.
When it did make me, when you were on the phone earlier and you said it, I thought, well, yeah. And you said that even entertainment has got a value.
Yeah. And I think sometimes that is like, if people are having a laugh while we're in their home, because we've done it before, like when we're down, even though we didn't like that job with the breaks. The whole, like, what was it, Joan Armour trading? Is this on the radio? Joan Armour trading. What's she trading? And just, even just making them laugh with me and you chatting, they might feel a little bit more comfortable.
But I've never thought of it like that, but it's just the whole package, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you can provide a bit of entertainment during the
have a bit of a laugh and
during the day or the time you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to have some sort of commodity.
I think there's I think sometimes, like, so when John was doing his thing, so you go on jamies.co.uk.
Yeah.
John's got a website, loads of free resources for decorators. He's doing really good work.
He's blazing a trail.
Yeah, I can't shout out John enough. He's a legend. But I think sometimes he, like with that one, it felt like he was trying to pinpoint one thing down too much with, you know, what I think the question was, what do you think gains you the most repeat business?
Yeah.
Right, whether it's, you know, the fact you offer dust-free sanding or this or that or the other thing.
Explain the value of service.
Yeah.
How to sell just about anything. Was that the post?
It might be that one. But I think sometimes, like, just being in there and being like a good chat to them and just having a bit, because the amount of times that we've gone into a job and all we get is the missus moaning about her husband for the morning, and then he gets home and he's moaning about her all afternoon.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just there as a bit of a listening wall for them, and they appreciate that as well.
And by the time we've come to leave for the day, they've decided they're going to split up.
Yeah.
Well, the decorator told me we're probably not compatible. Well,
well, I tend to not tell them to do that until after we've been paid up and left.
Exactly. But yeah, no, it is interesting. It may be sort of like I say, the value is not actually in, like you say, the sanders and the tools, and it's actually
in
you.
It's in like how you are in their home. Whether you go in there and you shut yourself into a room. Yeah, I'm getting on with it, and you lock yourself in a room. Or whether every hour you come out.
But then some customers see like that, don't they? Some customers think, oh, well, he's turned up, he's got on, he's not, not been disturbed, not been, So,
but you get that gauge for that customer when you go in there.
Yeah. But no, it is a bit of it is a funny one, definitely.
There's been this bloke on, what is it? It's like the Decorators Forum Showcase or something, one of the weird sub-Decorators Forums groups. Yeah. And he's obviously in like Ghana or Zambia or somewhere like that in Africa. A decorator, mind. And, I was looking at it and it made me realise you don't need a fucking Merca and, £20 ice fusion brushes and all of this other gear that we all like to get, like all these toys and all these special bits. The man was there with black bin bags as his dust sheet, and he's still getting work and, pushing on and trying to make something of himself. And that sort of really... It's like
inspiring.
Sometimes you feel like, I've not got this or I've not got that. I can't get on to the next level until I've got...
That's pressure you put on yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you sometimes just do it. Just even if you're doing it not very well, just do it.
Yeah, but as long as you're doing it, you're going to get better, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's not even... I think, it's not even so much of a case of better. It's a case of, like, a lot of the time people don't think they can do stuff because they don't have the right kit, but...
It does make life easier if you've got the right kit.
It makes life easier, but it doesn't mean you can't do it.
But even if you haven't got an ability, even with the right kit, you can still get it wrong if you haven't got a natural sort of talent.
If you know what you're doing, you can do it with the least minimal tools. But if you don't know what you're doing, you could have all the tools in the world and you still wouldn't get a good finish.
Yeah. So, bin bags then.
Yeah, bin bags as dust sheet way forward.
What's the sort of standard of work in Namibia then?
Yeah, it looks all right. You know. I don't think he's anything special. He's there with like old oil drum buckets and stuff as his kettles. But that's what I mean. He's
giving it a go.
He's not even giving it a go. He's doing like quite nice work by the look of it. But he's just using what he can get hold of. If you're thinking about doing X or Y, because you see that a lot of the time with people starting out on their own. It's like, I don't know whether I've got all of the right this or that or the other thing. Just do it. Just give it a good shot. You can only fuck it up.
At the end of the day, it's painting.
Yeah.
It's not brain surgery.
No.
It's
No, it's not rocket surgery. You can
rocket surgery.
Yeah.
Rocket science.
Brain surgery. No. Rocket surgery or brain science.
But no, just give it a go and suppose look just half professional and
and work on the other half of the professionalism later on.
Good.
I got so you're not a real decorator unless you can hang wallpaper, right?
Well, this is the thing, and I think this is the agreed general rule that a painter can paint, but a decorator can hang wallpaper too. That's what I think. I might be wrong, but that's what I'm led to believe. Right.
So, I'm quite comfortable hanging 80% of wallpapers, right? Alfresco.
Alfresco?
Yeah, whatever. What is it? Is that stuff? Alfresco? Like the rain shit from fucking B&Q? All of that stuff?
Alfresco. That's what you...
Sling it up in a minute. What's it?
Alfresco's when you eat outside, isn't it?
No, well, yeah, but there is a...
Fresco.
Same thing, innit?
Fresco.
I just put a little bit of a European twang on it.
Hello, my love.
Al Deluxo.
Hello, my darling. I'm just going to go and put up this alfresco. I should be down the bottom of the garden. Fucking alfresco. What's wrong with
No, the bloke that sold it to me was called Alan.
Yeah.
But yeah,
alfresco?
the cheap shitty papers. I reckon 25 pound a roll is probably the most I go up to, right? In what I'd feel comfortable hanging and not be sweating while I'm doing it. Like, I'll be all right with that. But then you get into the more expensive papers. But does that mean I'm only like a decor because I can only hang up to a £25 a roll paper, and I'll get the like Rator bit when I can hang, £200 a roll wallpapers?
Well, talking of wallpaper,
Or does
before
it
we go
not
any
matter?
further, the good thing about Laura Ashley going bust is there won't be any more of their fucking wallpaper around.
We just got to struggle through this first little bit
When they
where
sell
it's
it off
gonna be
cheap.
discounted and discontinued stock. Yeah, there's going to be a real big surge in it, and then it will just disappear, and it will be a bad memory, like hanging wood chip.
Wood chip was all right. Wood chip's all right.
Was it all right?
Yeah,
putting it
wood
up?
chip's
See,
fine.
I've never in my life put up wood chip. I've only ever taken it off.
Wood chip's fine. It's when you come and take it off.
I saw a post, mate. He had wood chip with 2 layers of oil eggshell over the top. He's been there like 4 hours. He's only got about halfway down the wall. Jesus.
That'd be good enough to plaster over, wouldn't it? Jesus, yeah. Tell you what, yeah. No, the nicest one I've ever hung is that Harlequin. That's beautiful paper. I think that's about £85 a roll. But when I did that Farron Ball wallpaper.
Where?
Did something issue, didn't we? And I did something in Hallway. That's about the same sort of money, and it's not pretty.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the best thing if you're starting to hang wallpaper, like that, you just haven't got to concentrate on how much it is a roll. It's just wallpaper, isn't it? Otherwise, you do get yourself into a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, you probably end up making more mistakes because you're stressing about it.
Exactly. You just don't need to know how much it is a roll.
What's the most expensive you ever hung?
I don't know, really. I've not really got into like proper high end.
Anything, really?
You're a prick. No, I haven't really got into high end. We did those one piece wall more. Well, they were quite nice to do. The murals, contract vinyl we did a bit of, didn't we, Ryan? That wasn't.
That was really fun.
Oh, that was all.
That was about this time. I know that was
long
it's
starting to
long kicked off of that job by now.
It's starting to be a distant memory, isn't it?
Thankfully.
I think that's the secret of wallpaper, is to have enough room to be able to perform.
Yeah, you
Because
just
definitely didn't there, did we?
You need the area.
Yeah, we definitely didn't. I'll tell you what I like doing now. That wall rock is beautiful stuff.
Yeah, the wall rock goes up easy.
We like that. But no, I thought this the other day about decorating. You've got decorators that do a decent job, a bit like me and Ryan, that get there, get on. But then you've got the people sort of like that just slap it about and really haven't got half an idea. But then you've got this whole other area of decorators that are, I don't know, they seem to put themselves above.
Yeah, I'll never forget this matey.
We're not naming names.
Worked in the Cotswolds, and he was hanging paper that was £250 a roll, and he was charging £500 a day.
Yeah,
and that's all. He didn't touch paint.
Yeah, but
all he done was hang paper.
I don't mind. Yeah, that's fine. But there's some people that I don't know what's the word. I don't know. They sort of they are decorators, but I don't know. They make out they're that little bit more special than
So you're talking people like sign writers, gilders, things like that?
No, not so much that, because they are decorators, and but they seem to make it more of a science. They seem to make it more mysterious, and mate, it's painting.
What do you mean?
Well, because
give us an example.
I'd give you a name; it'd make it a lot easier. But I'm not going to do that.
Drop the mics down and tell me. Yeah, just drop them. Well, because then I can follow you. So drop them and tell me.
Yeah, but then if anybody listening can't.
Yeah, but then at least I can sort of help you build up this image that you've got an idea of.
Hang on then, right, hold on.
One moment, please.
Bear with me. Listen.
There you go, we'll give you a little song in the meantime. You need to turn that slider up. There we go.
Perfect timing, that was, wasn't it?
Even crashed the ending of the song a little bit there. So you mean that people that have I get what you mean now. So me and you, we know that people like Joe, painting's just painting. Really, it is quite an easy fucking thing to do. Once you know, it's quite easy.
Once you've got the basic principles down, but then there's another sort of person that sort of, oh, well, you need to be doing this and you don't do that and you mix this with that and, oh, well.
So I saw a post on Facebook earlier. This mate had picked up a tub of 10 litres, £10 Leyland white paint.
Right.
And he said, looks pretty good. He goes, I've cut it and rolled it once and I reckon you could probably get away with it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
One bloke just had one comment on there, DIY shite. It's like, well, it doesn't matter if it's bought from your local hardware store or whether it's bought directly from Farrow and Ball, but it's still a paint, and it's up to you to know whether it's good. But then there's some people that will just, we have to use the most professional products.
Yeah.
We have to use dustless sanders. We have to have all the health and safety things written up and sent to customers. We have to have this.
Yeah.
And don't really have that sort of flexibility in, we'll use this, even though it's not the best thing for that job.
Maybe they take professionalism to another whole.
They sort of see it as less as we're tradesmen and more professionals.
We're more sort of like executive decorators, and that's what I'm trying to get to. That's exactly, and I think
so. They're still doing living rooms and things like that. They're not specialists.
But they are.
They're well, this has an alkylid binding polymer, and when you apply that to the wall, the polymerization creates a thin surface film of a very hard-wearing, durable.
Can I get 3 coats on in a day, or am I coming back tomorrow for an hour to top coat it? Yeah,
or if I don't juice it down so much, can I get it done in one and go home even earlier? I always give it 2 whether it needs it or not. Well, you're fucking chucking away money then, ain't you, mate?
Not maybe now you're going to the other extreme, but
No, you fuck off. If you can hold your hand on your heart and say to all of the guys that you put 2 on every time that you said 2.
Of course you don't.
Exactly.
Me
and you have been stood in a room and I've been halfway through it. The paint's not even dry and you're looking at me with a finger up like that. Yeah. So the customer doesn't hear you say do it in one.
Ryan was putting up 2 fingers then, just to make that clear. I'm doing my 1-finger dance.
Yeah.
I was really annoyed with your bedroom.
Why?
Your mum come in. She said, does that have a coat? I said, yeah, it's had a coat. It needs another one, doesn't it? I said, no, it fucking don't. I said, I can't remember the last time. I mean,
I'm not giving it 2 coats when all it's had is 3 in the past 30 years.
Exactly.
I don't want to stress it out.
I had to give it 2 coats. I couldn't believe it. God, I forgot how white a white ceiling is now. It looks brilliant. I might have to start doing it again. But no, it's that's what I was trying to say. That they take it to another.
Yeah, and I don't know.
It just seems like hard work.
You can sort of push that image out to customers.
Exactly.
I think you can very much make a bit of money out of that, but doing it to other decorators and stuff, we all know you're all full of shit.
It's I think that's probably about. I think that sums it up quite nicely, to be honest. That is exactly where you're heading.
Yeah, because
we all want to do a decent job.
Yeah, and you can still do a decent job without coming across as a bit of like a swatty arse.
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly
a bit like,
yeah.
You know,
that's it. A swatty arse.
We're
all doing it the same, but we all know, you know.
And that's what I said when we first started the podcast. Is I don't want to go in there with some sort of this is the image of how. No, we're going in there and honestly talking about how we operate. That's why on the radio show I had that budget or knock or something.
Yeah.
No, what was it called? What was that feature idea? I'm going to try and find it now.
It was
either bodgy or not, which was you tell us how you went about painting something or getting something, and you think it was a little bit dodgy and a little bit like slapped up, and we'll say whether we would have done it in the same way in the same circumstances. And the other one was when you've just packed up your tools and got fed up and just gone home.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'd let you know whether you were justified or not. But yeah, like everyone.
And there are ways, like going back to this, I know we take the piss out of one coat ceilings, but if you roll the ceiling properly, you can get, if you cross roll it, you can get a good enough finish.
Even if you just roll it normally, you can probably get a good finish on it. If you're a half decent decorator and the ceiling's already white without any stains in it, you can get it going in one.
If you roll it properly, you can. If you've got to make sure you get every fucking spot there, because it only takes for one spot to be missed, and you're in the shit.
But if you're painting the ceiling and you can't cover every spot, I think you really should be taking the whites off and putting the roller down.
Yeah, so
because I remember that when I was little, and Dulux came out with that DIY bloody
pink stuff
that turns to white.
Yeah.
And
is it still about?
Yeah.
Is it?
I think the first thing you said to me is any decorator worth their money would know exactly where they've rolled the fucking ceiling anyway. And it's true. It's 100% true. If you're rolling the ceiling and like walking about the room.
I told that to Ryan when he was 5. I'm glad he remembers it.
And then hand me the roller pole.
Yeah. Now get on and fucking do it properly.
Yeah.
Now.
Get on there and watch where you're going, you little shit.
Now do it again. Oh dear.
But yeah, like I don't know. Sometimes I think people put a little bit too much into what decorating actually is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely. You know that journal that I've got down there that talks about the conservation, and then there's stuff like dealing with damp and a few other things that do.
Yeah, but that conservation is important, and it does need to be taken seriously because it's hundreds and hundreds of years old, and it does need, you know. But proper when you're doing Mrs. Jones's Lounge,
and there's no nicotine stains or anything like that.
Yeah,
you don't need anything drastic.
You can understand people being up their own arses when they're doing that conservation work, because I imagine it does take a lot of.
But when you're slapping a coat of bloody Farramball New White around Doris's Hall stairs and landing,
exactly. We don't need to be getting too carried away with it,
do we? Really?
You know, it's
I use a polymer brush because these bristles are specifically designed to work well with a water-based emulsion.
Yes, I've looked up your postcode, and these brushes are ideal for the postcode we're in.
Exactly, like it could be like there are times and places, and you know, especially some customers as well. There's like me and you'll talk like this on here, and some customers you can go around and they like a little bit of chatting and just shooting the shit and having a bit of a laugh and throwing a few innits and shits and fucks about. You scatter them in there and they sort of find it quite, even some of the quite well-off people, they like that because it's sort of, they feel they pulled out of their sort of uptight, posh world, and they can sort of have a bit of a laugh and a giggle with us.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
There was a bloke before I was working with you when I was ground working, he lived in a very nice area, a really nice bloke. But then every lunchtime would come out and have a bit of a laugh with us, and then he figured out that one of the chippies had green tea. So every time we come out, do you want some of that lesbian tea, Clive? And he wouldn't ever say that to even that bloke up in Bentworth. It was very like wah 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 wah. But then when he came into the room with me, you and Michael, he was all having a joke and having a laugh and being a bit dirty.
He was good. Took us to the pub.
Took us to the pub and had a bit of a laugh. And there are a few customers where you can sort of do that, and then there's a few where they prefer you in there. And I'll play a history podcast just because it's a little bit more seen as more like whatever, instead of having like Radio 1 blasting out dance tunes all day. You can have
you have to adapt
very much. It's
adapting to your surroundings again, isn't it?
Yeah, you're working for that customer. It doesn't you know, don't matter to me talking nicely all day and being a respectable young man. Don't matter to me. I was still getting a paint on.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I don't know where that went, really.
No.
What are we on now?
Hour.
It's good enough, innit?
I think so. Well, next week we'll try and get some...
email bloody 2decks1mic@gmail.com. Do we have a phone number anymore?
No.
Or not? Ah, yeah, because you ruined that. You, not you specifically. Whoever's listening to this, you ruined it because you wouldn't call in and leave us a good story or a message.
So I think there's
you got the...
I think there's a number on the website.
Yeah.
Also, follow me at on YouTube, TJ Paint and Decorating, and could do with a few more subscribers.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at @S&D_decorating. Give us a shout on socials. Anything you want to talk about. If you're at work and you're like, oh, I wish they could talk about that on the podcast. Oh, it'd be good to hear what Trevor and Ryan think about that. Just send it to one of us on direct message on
Insta,
whatever social media,
Twitter.
Yeah, we're
Facebook.
on Twitter, Insta, everywhere. We're even on fucking LinkedIn. You can find that on LinkedIn.
You'd have to be Stevie Wonder not to find us.
Exactly.
So yeah, we should speak to you.
Yeah, peace
next week.
Two decorators and a microphone. The UK's first painting and decorating podcast with Trev and Ryan.